and he says he believes you'll end up in the Open at some stage. Now, I have to ask you, man, do you believe you'll end up in the Open someday? What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back for another episode of Bodybuilding University. We're here with Aaron Politis, top 10, 212 Mr Olympia finisher back in 2019, Stanimal, Stan Longeaux, who's only 2.5 weeks out of the Orlando Pro, and Keone, the prodigy Pearson, is back on Bodybuilding University. We had you on, man, about a year ago. We actually did do an interview where it had some horrible audio quality and I had a lot going on, so that one didn't come out, but we got you back on, man. And how are you doing, firstly? What's been happening in the life of Keone Pearson out there in Vegas?
Life of Keone Pearson. Well, now I have a girlfriend. So, hey, clap your hands, everybody.
Congrats.
No, man, for real, though, just prep life. I'm in prep life with Stan. I am, we'll be 9 weeks out Friday from Pro, which is in my backyard, like 20 minutes from my house. So, this really... You know how it is. Prep is prep. That's the only thing that I should be focused on at this point.
So are you focusing on just one show, or are you going to hit multiple?
Huh?
Are you just focusing on one show?
Yeah, just one show. Yeah, just one show. I like to take one show at a time. I don't like to look too much far ahead. It's just one show at a time. So Texas Pro, and then after next.
And you're looking like a mutant, man. Like you have. It's sometimes you see the individual photos of you, and even a couple of years ago, you go, oh, Keone looked crazy back then, but you've really added a lot of mass to your physique, man. What's the changes in terms of weight and everything that's been happening with you?
I mean, as far as the weight hasn't been nothing different, but as far as like training's been a lot different. This year was actually my first true off season that I took as far as eating 6 meals a day. I cut out the cheat meals, Patrick. I had to officially cut that out. It took a lot out of me to stop doing that, but it paid off as far as like conditioning wise. And I started prep 15 weeks, and my training's a lot different. I train a lot slower now. I don't just go in the gym just to bang weight, I just really my time focusing on the negative squeezes. I'm training glutes now, which I didn't train last year, which is a huge difference. And I'm training more of hammies, which is a huge difference, as you can see now.
Yeah, man. Well, man, like it actually, I think Stan just said before the podcast, he started training glutes this year, and it's sort of one of those things where it's like, oh, it's not, bodybuilding isn't necessarily a glute contest, but it does sort of balance out the physique. It's sort of like on a female, in some of those female divisions, like breast implants sort of balance out the whole physique. And it seems like, your physique is more balanced. It's so much thicker. Like when you see before and afters of you now, you look like your physique's more mature, it's thicker, and it's just so much more impressive. And this is 10 weeks out, and it's just the roundness and fullness to your muscle is just something different now. So is that like, oh wait, I'll go to this back shot. This one here, like you can see just the difference there, and that's 10 weeks and 3 days out. I was muted for a second. As got that, as Aaron has those twins, and obviously like Levi as well, so he's got a crazy house all the time. But man, like, when you look at this physique now, like, where do you think you've improved?
Everywhere, 100% everywhere. Especially my backside. My Tyler told me I needed a denser back. I need to be wider, so I focus a lot more on thickness and width, and I felt like that's what we accomplished. And as far as my legs and hammy, I knew that I needed to improve on that. So that's why we blast that shit really hard for like 5 months since after the Olympia. So the whole backside for sure was really my main target this improvement season. And I feel like now my backside, as far as conditioning wise, is matching with my front now versus my front getting really lean and my back coming in at the last minute. And like I said, also because of my off season, I was eating clean. I cut the cheat meals out. I was doing cardio, which I usually don't do cardio in the off season, which helped me tremendously with my metabolism and just keeping lean. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at now.
Sure, man. Now, I want to ask you this question straight off the bat, because I know that there's probably going to be a question by the fans asking this as well. Do you believe this year you can win the Olympia in the 212s? Because obviously you've got Shaun Clarida and Angel Calderon and all those guys. Do you think you can win it this year?
Yeah, I do. Honestly do. I feel it in my heart that I can. As long as we're 100%, I do feel like I can win. I just think that I just have a different look from everyone. I feel like I still have like that classic look compared to most 212 guys. So I think with me having more of a aesthetic physique and with the classic shape, I think it's just more eye-catching. So as long as I come in 100%, yes, I do feel like I can win the Olympia.
Love it, man. Love it. Now, how you been, man? What's been happening in your life of Aaron Pilates with the jungle there?
Did you hear my daughter running then?
Yeah, yeah.
So, oh, man.
For a second.
I said, because my daughters have had dancing this morning. They're only 2 years old. And I said to Jade, if you come home, it's going to come home right in the middle of the podcast. Don't let the girls, because they're crazy. She runs in going, daddy, daddy, daddy. Anyway. Yeah, it's been going well, bro. Just training, just building that physique back up. I'm probably ready. I could start a prep soon, but going to probably wait towards the end of the year before I start one. Just waiting on a few ducks to align. But, no complaints from me. Like, first time in a long time, I'm pretty much injury-free. Training's going well. I'm sitting the biggest that I've ever been in good condition. So, yeah.
What weight are you sitting at?
Pounds, almost 240, just under 239, 240.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, 5'4" I am. So, how tall are you, Keone?
I'm 5'5".
5'5", yeah, okay.
And
so
you'll be considerably bigger too, man, because like when you last competed, you weren't filling out that 212 yet. And we sort of were talking the other day on the phone, and you're a guy that looks like crazy. As you get in shape, you tend to get dramatically better. Like Keone year round looks like he's like, just tighten up a little bit and he's on stage, you know what I mean? But obviously you look ridiculous, like mass and everything, but your physique sort of comes alive when you really get in shape.
Yeah.
Keone looks crazy year round. I look terrible in off season, and I look all right in the prep. But in regards of like off season looks, this would probably be the best off season I've like looking wise. Like I'm not fat or anything like that, so and the shape's still not bad. Yeah, everything's no complaints from me. I'm looking to sell a house that we're in at the moment, so I don't really want to have to go through a house move during the middle of the prep. You can understand how stressful that would be. So once I get this done in the next few months, as soon as it's done and we're in the next one, I'm going to announce the show, and then whatever's 15 to 18 weeks from then, I will compete in that. So, but predominantly I would like it to be USA. So, yeah, but it's too far out for me to announce just yet. So I guess I just got to keep trying to get better, and then when that time comes, it'll come. But I'll miss this year's Olympia. So because I'm not gonna rush a prep and like rush my comeback just to try and make the Olympia last minute. I'd rather do it organized and have everything perfect. So It is what it is, It's frustrating missing so many Olympias after 2019 due to issues that I couldn't control, but too bad. That's life.
Yeah, and we discussed things as well, like obviously I'm not going to mention your finances here, but your outgoings are pretty big and stuff, and obviously having a family of 3 and obviously, selling and buying houses, it's stressful financially, so that's obviously a factor for it as well. But you're doing well, man, and I can't wait to see that comeback. But dude, the hair's ridiculous. So you were like, you had the hair transplant. How's that all going? Like, are you constantly playing with it?
I was fully bald, like, and then went to Turkey, got the hair transplant. The front of it's like actually pretty thick now, and like I've got actually grey. First time I've ever seen grey hairs. So that works pretty good, that stuff. But they still have to do the crown. Have to go back to do the crown, which is frustrating because it's not the most pleasant thing to go through. But yeah, it's pretty great. So it's so popular now. So many bodybuilders go and do it. Everyone goes to Turkey at some point. You'll have to be next, Dan.
That is so funny. I was just talking to my posing client about that the other day because I'm going bald up here.
Oh yeah. That's how mine started. So 2019, when I was in the Olympia, I had a little tiny bald spot on my crown. And when I did the rear double poses and put my head back, the light would just hit it, and that's how it started, and I hated it, and I got the SMP. Do you have SMP in America where they tattoo it?
Yeah.
They tattoo. Do you have that?
Yeah.
You do, yeah. So I the first time when I just had the crown, they tattooed, pretty much color it in, but then obviously you get too bald, you can't keep going. But eventually I just shaved it all off. But hey, most 90% of bodybuilders are bald these days anyway. But
I mean,
yeah.
I think over 50% of the population is bald by 50 years old anyway. So
you suit the shaved head, Stan. You suit it. You look good with the shaved head.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, to me, I just like to keep it clean, so it makes it easy.
Man, I forget had hair, bro.
Huh?
Every time I see you, I forget that you even had hair.
Every time.
When I met Stan, when I met you, Stan, in Vegas, 2019, that's when you had like long blonde.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely changed over the years in many ways.
It's like pretty boy to meathead look. I love it. But dude, you maintain the beard and everything, so it looks clean still. But yeah, you super bald head. It's like, I know if I'd shave my head, because I've had it shaved short before, and it just looks, I don't know, it doesn't.
It feels good having a shaved head. It feels nice, I reckon.
No, it looks like you, Xavier. You would rock it. I feel like it would fit you well.
No, I don't think so, man. The shape of my head at the back's weird. It's, I don't know, I look like an alien or something. But
I have the same back of my head as my dogs.
And your dogs.
Yeah.
Dude, like my grandfather, when he was alive, I saw photos of him, and when he was in his 30s, I think it was like late 30s or something, he was fully white hair. And now, like, you can't see because I had a haircut yesterday, but all this area is, this side especially, is so fucking grey that I'm going to look bald there soon, so I don't know what to do about it. I think I'm going to have to change the hairstyle and have more hair there and just dye it or something. Or
Diet, bro.
Just dye.
Yeah, run something through it. But Keone, would you get the hair transplant?
You say, am I?
Yeah, would you get it?
No, I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this yesterday. I think I'm gonna just go bald. I'm gonna just let it go. I mean, all the great.
Sergio wants to get it.
Huh?
Sergio wants to get it. He said to me the other day he wants to get it. I was like, bro, Sergio looks good with the shaved head.
Oh yeah. We're so used to seeing him bald. I don't think he needs that hair.
Yeah.
It'd look like a wig or something, I reckon, on Sergio, because I'm just not used to any hair being on his head.
It's like saying he's about to grow an afro. It wouldn't look right. He might as well just low cut.
Didn't you? I swear you had like almost an afro at your last show. I was longer than you used to be.
Yeah, I wanted to switch it up a little bit. I had the little 90s part in there. I was like, and then I saw I had the bald spot when I like go through my transitions like this. I was like, fuck no, I gotta shave that. So right after the afro, I was like, well, no more fro for me. So
I didn't even notice that, man. I remember Ronnie Coleman when he came down to Tasmania when I lived down there, which is like the bottom of Australia, like disconnected island. And someone asked Ronnie a question, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to do this, Ronnie?" And it was something really unlikely. And he's like, "About as much chance as I have of growing hair." And then it was like 2 years later, he had hair on his head. And I was just like, "What?"
Yeah, do you remember that? There's also like it's very popular. Those things they like stick some like fake hair. They just glued, like shave your head and they glued and they mix it with your hair, and it looks really good. Like in Brazil, they're crazy about that, and then I mean they have that in the US also. I forgot what it's called. It has a special name.
Do you know what Ronnie Coleman did?
Well, I know what's his name. Mac Chuck used to do that, and he had like. He came back. He was always bald, and he came back with like a nice, like full head of hair and stuff. And it's just like you put it on and off, and it looks really good. Like I mean, it's hard to tell if you don't know. You wouldn't even.
Antonio Burton. He did that to his hair.
Oh yeah.
He had like braids or something. Like he had short hair or something, I believe. And then he like one day he just had like freaking dreads or something hanging out his head. It's like
It's like Kai Green. I've got to show you Ronnie Coleman with hair, because this is like after. It wasn't after. I don't know if it was after he retired, like directly after, or when it was. But it was very unusual to see Ronnie with no hair forever, and then just to see him with hair. But let me pull it up.
Bro, how good is Jay Cutler's hair? Like his hair's like been good. Has he had a hair transplant?
Yeah, he had like 2020. Last time he had it in like 2020 or 2021.
Oh,
Like
that's
there's the
what I'm
Olympia where he got a shaved head because he just had it done or he was about to get it done.
okay. Gonna say, how come his hair's so good?
So Stanimal, is that a wig on Ronnie Coleman there?
I mean, I'm not an expert. I couldn't tell, but that could be, yeah, for sure. Because they kind of like they shave like the middle part and they stick it, and then they just like normally people grow their hair on the side, so they blend it with your hair. So
Yeah.
it's a very small like silicone or like rubber type of thing that you can. It's hard to really notice, and depending on the haircut, the hair that would actually hide it, and you can choose exactly the color and the style.
Yeah.
Man,
My
you've
mate
looked
has
into this, haven't you?
can't tell.
What?
You've looked into this, haven't you?
Because
Bro,
the thing is, there's
my
this
mate-
guy in Brazil that was a big coach, Fabrício Bacholak. When I went there, everybody was like, "Oh, you look like him." You look like every time I was post something in Brazil, everybody's like, "Oh, you look like Fabrício." And like suddenly I saw because I met him because it's his gym, the Ironberg City Ironberg, the Make It gym in the Sao Paulo, where all the guys are with the red lights and stuff, like Good Vito and Ramon and all these guys. Anyway, so like suddenly I saw his posting, he's like got full head of hair and stuff. I'm like, oh, then he's posting it at his barber and he's showing what they're doing, and I was like, oh, that looks really good.
It's cool as.
Try it, Stan, since it looks so good.
I was like, maybe one show I show up just for the show up, like,
That'd
like
be so funny. That'd
shave
be so
the beard
funny.
and put the hair on the head, like who is that guy?
I encourage all of you guys or anyone listening that's a pro, just show up with dreads, just one comp, just rock up like the Kai Green or something, just one show. Like imagine just doing your whole prep.
For my career, I show up dressed.
What's that? What's that?
Like
Keone?
Kai Green?
You say what?
You're gonna do the dress like Kai Green?
Yeah, my last show of my career. That's it.
All right. Deal.
We'll hold you to that. Don't just retire all of a sudden and don't do it. Because
honestly, like I feel like the whole hair stuff a lot, for me at least, I was worrying about it too much. Like once I shaved it, I was like, I feel better. I felt so much like I don't worry about it anymore. It's clean. It's I don't know. I've just it was easier to do. I thought I should have shaved my head a little sooner even.
Yeah, bro, you can't add hair day when you're bald, so that's pretty easy,
And Stan, you've got a woman too, anyway, and she obviously she likes it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like she likes it obviously, but I never asked her like, oh, would you prefer me with hair or not? Like, that's what you get.
You get what you're given. I love it, man. Let's get to your updates because you're only 2.5 weeks out now. This was from 3 weeks. 3 weeks out from both contests. This is 3 weeks out from the Legion last year. This is 3 weeks out from your Orlando. And to me, man, it looks like you've got a different level of sort of density and hardness in this new physique and even like dryness as well. So how do you feel about, I suppose, like how you're looking right now in this upcoming contest?
Well, I'm really excited, to be honest, because I just know it's going to be my best ever. And we've been really doing pretty good so far already with Patrick. And I feel like now I have a more competitive physique, so I'm definitely like I'm gonna be at the Olympia this year. So,
so balanced.
Sure. Sorry.
I say you're so balanced from like top to bottom on the last spread.
Thanks. Yeah, the funny thing is like here I'm not even like pushing my butt back. My glutes grew so much that even like tucking them in, it looks like I'm pushing back. But
when you hit the glute shot, do you tuck them in or push them?
They're tucked in there. They're tucked in.
Yeah, tucked in. Yeah, because some guys will like do a pelvic tilt and put their glutes up back to make them look bigger. And some guys tuck them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think it looks better when they tuck in. Personally.
Yeah, when you tuck them in, they look drier, I reckon, and more detailed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it looks definitely way thicker when you push, your butt back and you got to see the adductors and all that. But
the key is to get big enough glutes that when you tuck them in, they still look big.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as long as you know how to pose your adductors from the back, that pose is pretty much solid. I notice when I squeeze my glutes too much, I lose my adductors, I lose my hamstrings and stuff.
Yeah, it's a balance as well. And Keone, you know about being obviously opposing coach.
You can overpose if you squeeze like too hard.
Yeah, and that was always been my problem because I know I had hamstrings. I just didn't know how to properly pose them. So now when I'm good in my back relaxed, my back double, I can pop my hips back and slightly squeeze my glutes, and then you can see my adductors from the back now, and just my hamstrings more. So really just an illusion at the end of the day if you know how to pose your legs right.
Yeah.
Sure. And Keone, man, one thing I noticed with your posing, obviously you coach posing and you're one of the best in the IFBB Pro League right now. You are a master at highlighting your strengths and hiding your weaknesses. And like we've heard Milos Sarcev talk about him wanting posing routines to actually be judged now. He wants them to be, judged so you can actually get that advantage from highlighting your strengths and hiding your weaknesses. Would you encourage, I suppose, the IFBB Pro League to do that?
100%, bro. I just think people need to take posing more seriously at the end of the day, because why everybody's so focused on the conditioning and muscularity. That's cool, that's nice, but bodybuilding is so much more than that. It's just posing and be able to display that conditioning, clarity. So yeah, I definitely feel like as far as like routines, that should be judged, and they should definitely look more into that and to see people's weakness, because when a lot of people pose this, when they do their routines, the number one thing that's always out is their stomach. That's a lot of people weak points is their guts. You know what I mean? And I'm sure y'all guys on the bottom can vouch for that.
Is my audio much better now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was using the wrong microphone. Am I clear enough? Do you think I'm clear enough to everyone that's listening at the start of a show? Or?
Yeah. No, we could hear you.
Really clear.
Cool. Sweet. But yeah, I think it's one of those things that I think it should be judged, man, because and Mills makes such good points as well, where it's something that we would have been lost in the past as well, because we would have not had the same photos of Arnold. We wouldn't have these same photos of Frank Zane, and it wouldn't have been highlighted near as much. And we would have had just more of the, people not putting that effort into their posing routines. So I think that it's something that definitely should be judged, especially in Classic, I think, but also in these other divisions as well. Because, Aaron, and Stan, would you like to see that introduced?
Was it judged at the Arnold? I thought the Arnold is judged.
It does get judged at the Arnold, but it's only in the Open, I believe.
They reward it like
so when you say judge, but is it just best poser, or it can actually mean you can leapfrog someone because you're posing or not?
Well, they had been judging the routine because there's a round for it, so they actually have been judging it at the Arnold. But it's typically a lot of the time just lined up with the other results. Because remember when Kai Green and Cedric competed against each other, that was where was it Cedric that really pulled ahead, or Kai? No, it was where Kai pulled ahead of Cedric dramatically, and he won that round with almost straight firsts. And then in a lot of the other judging, it was quite close. So I think I don't know if that was the differentiating factor of who won that Arnold Classic. But if you've got a guy like, this is not taking any shots at Ramon Dino, but you compare his posing routine to Urs Kalaczynski, to Chris Bumstead, to Terence Ruffin. All those guys have dramatically better posing routines. They have amazing posing routines in comparison to Ramon and presenting his physique in the way he presents it. And I think that if it's close, just say it was really close between Urs and Ramon or something in a contest, really, really close, and just say there's some of the judging is split between the two on their physique, then if the posing routine, if Urs wins, hands down, then maybe that should put him over the top in a contest, because it's going to encourage guys to work on their routine more. We're going to get more entertainment, and we know it's going to matter. Because as a fan, if I'm watching it, even a reporter, I report on a show, and I don't care about the posing routine one bit. I could not care less, because I know it's all about comparisons where it's judged. And I would like to be able to watch the routine and be like, oh, that was a next level routine. Potentially he's beating him on this routine, and it makes the whole contest more exciting. But if you've got 40 minutes or 45 minutes of guys doing posing routines, that's when I'm doing lives, and I'm not caring about that. I'm not watching it really at all much. Just, oh yeah, they look good tonight, so maybe they'll look better in the comparisons. But it's not, I think it takes the fun out of it for the fans. What do you think, Stan?
Yeah, I agree. The routine in itself it's important, because it's the whole show. That's what stays after the show. That's what people remember. That's where we really can see the art form of bodybuilding. Part of it is judged obviously when you compare, because you have to hit the pose right. But I think there's more to tell than just the mandatory poses, for sure.
Yeah. absolutely. Because it means these other poses don't matter at all, apart from just, I mean, they will say they look at the physique and whatnot, but I've been to pro contests and I've been right up there. I've sat front row at the Arnold Classic Australia, and I've seen these judges not looking at the stage during a posing routine, and I've seen them get up and go to the toilet and whatnot as well. So to say that it matters, it's like it might matter to an extent to go, oh yeah, he looks good tonight, maybe we'll compare him in there, but that's a very small part of it.
I feel like right now, yeah, the routines are more like it's more your time on stage and like the time for the crowd also. Like, but so it depends how much you invest on that time to actually make it worth it for the crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
Bodybuilding is entertainment.
Yeah.
In the day, so we need to put more time into the pose.
I mean, it's about beauty and things like that, and I think there's a lot of like amazing poses that are not mandatory. Like a lot of the mandatory poses, they've been picked because it's very easy to see like the symmetry, left to right, balance, and compare. But there's so many other poses that, you know, if you're a good bodybuilder, you should know which poses to hit to really, you know, bring your physique to life. You know, there's poses that are not necessarily mandatory poses that look great on a physique, and if you hit just those poses and you transition properly in between those poses, like you put on a beautiful show, and that's in itself it's worth more than a perfect physique that moves like a robot and that hits the pose very like straight, you know, like without no flow in the pose.
And that's how you're gonna out. I mean, fuck yeah, Kai Green had an amazing physique, but we also remember Kai Green is posing. When we hear Kai Green, we think of posing.
Yeah.
Anything Flex Waller, like beautiful physique, but we think of him for posing too as well because he just had that beautiful flow and knew how to display it. So it's if you want to be separated from everybody else, I think, you know, whoever watching this needs to start practicing your posing. Don't worry about bringing up physique.
Right. Kai Green's routine at the Australian Arnold Classic was absolutely wild, man.
Bro,
Zach, do you remember that?
That was his last contest, I believe, at Australian Arnold Classic, wasn't it?
It looked like it was. That's the sort of shit that, like Keone said, that's entertainment. I was front row, right? I was on the edge of my seat. Like, he came out with like contacts in his eyes, like white, scary looking contacts, and he came out looking like a predator. And I can't remember what song it was. It was so cap, and he sort of came out like he was a predator, bro. Do you remember it? And then he turned around to the back and like moved like a robot a little bit. It was the most freakiest routine I'd ever seen in my life, man. The whole crowd was like, had hairs standing up on your back of on your head, and that was the year he won that one. I think it was 2016, but.
Yep, it was that because he did the Arnold Classic that year. It was actually his second last contest because he did the Arnold Classic. And then he did the Arnold Classic Australia, and then he did the Arnold Classic South America, I think it was, which was actually his last contest. And those routines, like everyone remembers those because it was the same routine. Everyone remembers that routine because it was so crazy, and you know he had and probably part of that was because I'm sure he wanted to put a lot into that. Maybe he knew that was going to be his last contest, but also the fact that the Arnold Classic judged posing routines, and you know, I don't know if it was that year or a year prior or whenever it was against Cedric, that was maybe the difference in him actually winning the Arnold Classic. So of course he's going to put as much effort into it.
But I also think like big shows like the Arnold, you know, there's like 10 guys, 12 guys, and you know, like the whole bodybuilding community is watching. So I feel like there's more pressure in like putting a proper routine for that kind of show.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, I enjoyed that discussion, but I actually heard Tarek Elgindi mentioned on one of his videos. He said about Milos actually having a good point, and then it was smart, and then you've got other people that oppose that opinion as well. And look, I can understand it from both sides, but I think, you know, we all want bodybuilding to be successful. We all want you guys to make more money. We all want, you know, all those sorts of things. So I think it only makes sense, and I don't think there's any real downside to it apart from for the guys that maybe aren't the best posers or are mass monsters or don't have that many. I suppose it advantages the aesthetic guys, which I think people like bodybuilding moving in that way, or at least slightly more emphasis on aesthetics. So, anyway.
But like to bounce back on what Keone was saying, like if you're focusing on the conditioning and you bring the physique perfectly to stage, but you don't know how to present it, like you won't show it. Like you know, you're gonna squeeze your legs maybe for the first round, and you're gonna lose them, and then you might be in condition, but if you can't fucking show the lines in between your quads, nobody will know. Nobody's gonna be like, yeah, we know he's in shape. He's just tired from squeezing his legs for 2 minutes.
You know,
yeah.
You can place at the end of the day. I mean, I haven't really brought the 100% condition yet. My best look was obviously the Olympia 2022, but I beat a lot of conditioned guys from posing too as well, because I just knew how to make myself look. I like to give myself more of the illusion than other people do, and so posing is everything.
Yeah, 100%. It's sad that we've sort of lost that a little bit, and obviously, it's going to be more work for the judges if they're judging posing routines too.
It's been coming back though. Like I feel like in the last couple years, there's been more effort put into those routines.
Yeah, I think so a little bit as well, because it did. I'd say it has fallen off still, but yeah, it's definitely been better. I think as well, just like the online commentary has sort of forced some guys to put a bit more effort in, because when someone comes out and, like when Ian came in at the Olympia last year or the year prior, last year, when he just lacked confidence. Now, that wasn't even in his posing routine. That was in his individual walkout and individual routine at pre-judging. But he just lacked that confidence, and there's a lot of emphasis on that and people making a point of it. And I think that, because of the online commentary and sometimes criticism, I think it's sort of forced some guys to up their game. 21 years of age. And it's actually funny. I think when he stands next to other guys, size-wise, you might see he's not quite as big as he looks in individual shots, but still 21 years of age. This guy has such a bright future. And as you guys mentioned, is he the youngest open bodybuilder to turn pro of all time?
Well, I wasn't even bodybuilding at 21.
I mean, he's got amazing flow, shape, conditioning.
Looking easy.
No weakness, very complete.
He's doing 212.
Is he?
Well, I was talking to Pat because I was thinking, I mean, he has a very pretty shape. I mean, he can do classic physique too, but I mean, obviously, he need to bring up his backside, like for his back double and his lat spread. I feel like a little bit, mainly the back double, but I think he's gonna be doing 212, from my understanding.
What's his weight?
Awesome. Do you know his weight?
Huh?
Do you know his weight?
Less than 200 pounds, I would say.
Patrick told me when we was talking about.
How much you say? 190 pounds.
I said he's less than 200 pounds for sure, but
I mean, with that frame, though, man, just...
he looks really, really good. Yeah, really great physique.
Yeah, this shot is just so unbelievable looking. Like it's incredible.
Roundness, flow,
waist.
Well, here it says. Well, I think Patrick said he was 20 years young. I thought he was 21, but maybe he's 20 when he started working with Patrick, and now he's 21. But it says he'll be a light heavyweight. So I don't know what the weight is for light heavies, and I know it's different.
Under light heavy is under 198.
Under 90, isn't it?
Sorry,
90 kilograms.
90 kilograms, yeah.
Yeah. So under 198 pounds. So yeah, he's definitely fitting in that 212 and can add plenty of muscle in the class as well. But just such an amazing physique. Yeah, he needs to bring up the backside and stuff a little bit. But being 20 or 21 years of age and looking like this is just...
It feels funny saying what he needs to bring up when he's 21. Like,
I know, you feel like an asshole.
Yeah, like he's just started,
He got big parts better than most pros. We're talking to bring up when he's 20.
I wonder when he started. I wonder when he started like proper bodybuilding.
Oh, this kid had to at least start at 15.
Yeah.
No way.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I started at 15 and I've gone nowhere. So, like, yeah, we'd have had to have started 15, man.
But look, 15 when it was picking on me in school. Shit. Used to crack on me, so I was going to be a bodybuilder. That's when I should have started competing.
I just hope he sticks at it, man, because he is one for the future, like in the 212s and maybe even eventually into the Open. But yeah, absolutely wild. And I just wanted to give him a shout out as well and just say, hopefully he sticks at it. This was 4 weeks out. You can see from the front, like his posing is a little bit off there with the arms a little too high and whatnot. But once this becomes fully complete and he has more of those years in the gym, just staying consistent, he's going to be a force. And I love this shot. That is just fucking mind-blowing. But Keone, I wanted to ask you a question, man. So I listened to an episode on Olympia TV. I believe it's Primetime Muscle. It had Tarek Elgindi, Chris Cormier, and Tim Wilkins on there. And Tarek said, guys, watch out. Keone, remember this? I believe he's going to go to the Open someday. And he sort of went on about that. And he says he believes you'll end up in the Open at some stage. Now, I have to ask you, man, do you believe you'll end up in the Open someday?
100% I'll be in Open one day.
Hell yeah.
No doubt about it. It's only a matter of time, but let me win the Mr. Olympia a couple of times first, then we can talk about that.
Man, I love that because I remember, I don't know if it was we mentioned this in an interview or you came out and said it or what it was, but you had plans of retiring
by 30.
Sort of, yeah, by 30 or so. So that's obviously, those plans have obviously changed. Like, what's, I suppose, the reason for it? And have you just sort of, I suppose, spoken to different people or had a change of mind in some way?
It was the mindset, bro. It was crazy talk. I honestly regret saying that, to be honest, because now it's like in the air and people think that. But no, I'm not there no time soon. I'm just taking it year by year, day by day. And this is my career. You know, this is what feeds me. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I love. And I'm just gonna keep doing it until I can't do it no more. And as long as I'm healthy doing it, I'm gonna keep doing it. So there's no retirement for me. When you go through mental stuff, man, especially for me in the past, you think crazy shit, you say crazy shit. Sometimes you don't think. And that was pretty much the case for me at that time. Like when I was trying to downsize for Classic, if you remember, I think that was after the 21 Olympia, I believe, or so. Or 20.
Yep.
2020, after 2020.
2020, yeah.
You know, I wasn't thinking. But now I got the right people behind me and, you know, great support. And, yeah.
It'd be cool to make Olympia in Classic 212, then Open.
You say what?
It'd be cool to be Olympian in Classic 212 and Open. Like I know you're not going to be Mr. Olympia in the Classic, but like, has many bodybuilders made the Olympia in 3 divisions?
No, I don't recall. I don't think so. I mean,
none.
And you did Classic. You do 212, so.
You'll be the first then when you do that.
That's the goal. That'd be the dream for sure. Sometimes I wish I stayed in Classic for like one more year, to be honest. But my coach at the time was like, he told me straight up. He said, "You're not going to be a Mr. Olympia in Classic. Chris is the standard. And that's what's going to win until he retired." He told me that in the hotel room after the Olympia. He was like, "You need to do 212." I was like, okay.
I think that's smart advice, to be honest, man, because you were like capping out that weight limit. So it wasn't fair on you. And it was surprising me as well because you've got such a aesthetic physique, such a small waist. The fact that you were capping it out and then still couldn't win it with that shape. And it's like the ultimate shape, man. It's like it's
like 2 more pounds. So I definitely could have, did at least 1 more year. Yes, I would have struggled with weight, but those 2 pounds could have been somewhere. I would have looked.
Yeah, and I think you're now way sharper than you ever been before in Classic. So you still had room there too to bring it like deeper conditioning, and you were just like starting with gear also back then. So
yeah, I was.
Yeah. It's so crazy that you've gone from like natural as a pro to then getting to where when you think about where your physique's at now, it's not that long of a period of time, man. Like, when did you start competing as a pro? What year was that?
17. I turned pro when I was 21. So
yeah. Well, it's a few years now, but still, it's like, it's as a bodybuilder to add that amount of muscle and then to harden it. Like, you guys know, like Aaron and Stan, man, like Stan, you've come from Classic too, which is really cool. Like, it seems like Bodybuilding University has a ton of the guys that have come through the divisions.
Stan did physique.
Yes, Stan's gone through them pretty much all of them. If you were shorter, Stan, you could have gone men's physique, classic, 212 and open. You could have been the first, man.
But 212 it was the same. Like for me, it was same as classic basically. It was 5 pounds.
212 as well?
No, I didn't, but because it was the same. Like it was my weight in classic was 207.
Oh, okay.
You're too tall anyway for 212.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really no height requirement. They never said that, but the way
I mean, Zane Watson was competing in 212, and he was, I think, just a bit shorter than me.
Do you remember?
I competed against Zane in the Olympia at 19.
Yeah.
He was a few inches taller than me.
Do y'all remember when Steve Lars did 212 at the Pittsburgh Pro?
Who?
Steve Lars, the Classic Physique.
He did 212. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah,
that was silly.
He was.
I feel like 5'7" is the limit for 212.
Yeah, Steve is like 5'10", 5'11".
Way too tall, man. It makes you look skinny.
Oh, it was so crazy that he did 212. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And didn't he do it because his friend, he qualified the week before in Pittsburgh, and then his friend, someone else, I can't remember which competitor it was doing the Classic Physique?
I think that wasn't it? Pro show?
With George
who?
Peterson. I think they were with the same coach, and they didn't forgot. I remember he won the Pittsburgh Steve in Classic, and then he did the New York the week or two after in 212. And I think there was one of his like training partner. They were with the same coach or something, and he wanted to let him compete in Classic so he could qualify. Some story like that, I believe.
Yeah, that was it. He didn't win anyway, so he cost himself a title, I'd say.
Yeah.
But that was unfortunate. But yeah, that's cool, Keone, man. I'm so excited for you to. I'm just so excited to hear that because, thinking that you were potentially going to retire with the sort of physique you've got, it's like bodybuilding fans were going to be shattered. And I know that you copped a bit of blowback from that. They're saying, "Oh, he's wasting his physique," and he's saying all that sort of stuff. I'm like, and I think I even had a response to say, Keone can do whatever he wants. If he doesn't want to do bodybuilding, he hasn't got to do it just because he's got a good shape. It's like saying like a guy with a big dick has to do porn. It's like, no, he doesn't. So it's I think it's cool though that you are doing it. It's exciting for bodybuilding fans, exciting for the bodybuilding community, and people want to see you obviously go in and take that 212 title and bring the aesthetics to 212, and then obviously make you move up to open. And Shaun Clarida, everyone's like, well, he's got a stranglehold on the Olympia right now, but even regardless, I mean, Tarek, I think it was Tarek or someone else was mentioning on another podcast recently, like I think it was maybe Cormier, I can't quite remember, but he's training so hard. I think Shaun's around 40 years of age right now. Yeah, and you look at every top pro, if they maintain their peak for 8 years or somewhere near their peak for 8 years or so, it's incredible. It's mind-blowing. You saw Ronnie, everyone said, oh, he's going to win 10. Phil, oh, he's going to win 10. There's eventually a point where the physique starts to go the opposite way. And not saying that Shaun Clarida is going to fall off a cliff or anything, but he trains in a ballistic way like, very few people. And for his height and everything, it's actually amazing that his physique has sort of held together and he's continued to get better. And that's sort of, he's a bit of an anomaly that way, at least anyway. So, I don't think he has a complete stranglehold on the division right now. And I think that, the likes of yourself and maybe even in the future, like Aaron Pilates, man, like, I think people are overlooking you because, even though, you beat Angel Calderon back in that 2019 Olympia by 1 place, and I think you were the 2 guys that were probably most overlooked in that show. And I think that you've made solid improvements as well, man. So I hope to see next year you and Keone up in that first call out with a Shaun Clarida, maybe with an Angel, maybe with someone else up there like Kerif Bajo or someone like that. And man, that would make me so incredibly happy to be reporting on that live, and it'd be very, very cool. So yeah, I just want to say I'm incredibly excited, and yeah, I think you can go well in open too, bro. So just with that time.
The goal, man. That's the goal.
I love it. What's that as?
I said, let's make it happen.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, it's happening, man.
Just consider it's already happened. But
already done. We just got to make it there.
Exactly. But we've got a couple questions, I believe. Let me just have a quick look. Here we go. So I won't bother bringing it up on the screen. I've got them here on YouTube. I put up a thing for some questions. So this is from
sorry, just while you're searching for questions. Another thing is, I'm not sure Shaun can really improve much from where he's at. Like he's kind of like, he looks like, you know, I don't know where he can put on more muscle on his frame. When Keone keep adding that size, and it's like it just looks rounder and more like cartoonish, crazier. So I think that's gonna also like play into Keone's favor.
Yeah,
I
totally agree.
And it's a lot of,
like Shaun said before, there's no one in the whole IFBB that has your shape. Your silhouette is like, it's the only one of a kind. I've told Xavier that before. I was like, bro, Keone has the best genetics in the IFBB in regards of every division, you know. So, like, if you're comparing against Shaun, your strengths are way different. You know, you have in regards of your silhouette, it's just very rare.
Well, you're like, you have like a Derek Lansford silhouette.
Yeah, exactly.
So that tells it all.
Exactly. Yeah, it's absolutely wild. First question is from Jack TSE on YouTube. Says, what is it actually like to train with Branch? Because Keone, you and Branch have completely opposite physiques, completely opposite. But what's it like to train with the man?
Make sure you have your big boy pants on train with Branch. He's a different breed. I'll never forget. I mean, I did a guest post in Sweden a couple of months, probably like 2 months back, month back ago. I mean, straight from like a 13-hour flight, we went to the gym and trained shoulders. He was like, no, you're going to train. When we travel, we're going to train. I don't like to go straight to the hotel. We're going to train. And we trained shoulders, and it was terrible. He fucked me up. I don't understand train after a 13-hour flight. Dehydrated, barely ate anything. So more to the story, you just got to have your big boy pants on and be ready to go to the ultimate failure with Branch.
maybe that's why Branch has a few torn muscles, man, because I remember Aaron Singman, actually, when he came out to Australia, this is back in the day, he got straight off a plane from America, came to Doherty's gym there in Melbourne, put some weight on the bar, and was doing, I think he's had 3 plates aside or something, doing incline presses, and he's just like, no, put it back up. And then like that later that night, he had blood, you know, like you could see it under the skin all coming down there, and he's like, that's probably a bad idea. I'm like, yeah, getting off a 16, 17-hour flight and then going straight to the gym like that. But yeah, so just be careful. We don't want to see torn muscles on Keone.
Yeah, for me, like if I didn't get all my meals in, there's no way I'm training. First, I need to get my food in, my rest, and then we'll talk about training.
Yeah, get some electrolytes on the plane as well. Maybe that will help offset the dehydration. Next question is from Jack Hayes 1052 on YouTube. Says, do you eventually see yourself making the move to Open? We've already answered that. So thank you, Jake, for that. I knew there'd be a question about that. People just saying awesome. Where's the next one? Sorry, I'm looking around my microphone. Oh, here we go. This is from Steve George on YouTube. Says, why didn't you stay in Classic Physique where you already got to 4th in the world with less in the way of training and special supplements? So yeah, I suppose you sort of semi-answered that before, but like, why didn't you give it another year? I guess, was it just based on the advice of your coach at the time?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it was really the advice. Yeah, it was honestly just because the PJ was like, you know, we need to do 212, and he pretty much kind of persuaded me that, you know, Classics just wasn't where it's at, and I wasn't going to be able to prove. So that's why I was like 212, and I was 178 pounds when he told me that. He didn't even believe that I can do that, and then yeah.
But when did he tell you that exactly? Because I remember the Olympia 2019. We were like, you and I were talking about that the other day. Like we were backstage just before the finals, like before going on our individual routine, and we were both talking, and you weren't sure yet. But the next day, I remember I was telling you I was going to move to Open, and I remember like yesterday I was taking Epsom salt baths in my hotel in Vegas, and you FaceTime me like, hey, I'm doing 212. That's it. I was like,
yeah, bro. Literally after the show, I was just excited. I was like, you know, I can't wait to do Classic again. I can't wait to, you know, be better and try to crack that top 3. But no, Chris, is a standard. That's what they want. And he was like, you know, in the future, which now he was like, those taller looks are going to be in that lineup. And now it is. You got Urs and Ramon, and it's all tall guys, you know. So
yeah, fair. And that's it for most of the questions. The other questions are things like people asking, why aren't you in prison for doing drugs and things like that? So just ridiculous questions. But I want to thank you, Keone, so much for coming on this episode as well. And it's been really awesome to get your opinions and everything like that. But do you have anything coming up in terms of appearances, anything like that prior to your show at the Texas Pro is what you're doing?
Yeah, Texas Pro, and I have a guest pose in like 4 weeks. It's in I think it's in Minneapolis, I believe so.
Awesome.
Yeah,
man, send me the video for that. I'll be reporting on that for sure on Desktop Bodybuilding, because I'm sure everyone will have their eyes peeled for that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big deal. So I feel like I'm prepping for that right now in Texas Pro, because I want to make sure that, you know, I set the tone. So yeah, you guys get a really good sneak peek in 4 weeks of how we're looking. So it's going to be good. It's going to be cool to be able to do my routine and kill it out.
Do you feel like you're sort of prepping for a certain look for that so that it puts you in the right spot? You know, that's how I should be looking 4 weeks out. Like it gives you a good gauge because you're actually under stage sort of lighting?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I mean, even the guest pose just gave me even more extra motivation to like go more hard on my cardio because, I mean, that's what's just going to set the tone for me for the year, you know. That's what's going to show people that this is what I'm capable of doing. This is what I'm bringing. And this is the condition that I can achieve at 4 weeks out. Patrick, you know, told me every day. I talked to Patrick every day, and he was like, we want to look like we're like 2-3 weeks ahead. And that's why we're pushing the way we are. So
I love it, bro. And I encourage everyone who's listening to this, follow Keone, follow Stan, follow Aaron on all their social medias. The links are in the description below, so make sure you do show them love, show them support, and you can follow all the news that's coming up on Desktop Bodybuilding as well and through their profiles. And we better wrap it up because I think Aaron's going to fall off the screen very, very soon. He's getting lower and lower.
I want a couch.
It's comfortable.
Yeah. Way too comfortable. I love it.
I got to pick the furthest room away from my daughters, otherwise they'll just cause destruction.
Yeah, for sure. No, they've been good. They've been good since that first little intro bit. But thank you guys so much for doing this episode. The Spain Pro is this weekend. I encourage everyone to subscribe to Desktop Bodybuilding because I will be going live for the pre-judging and finals. And you guys are welcome to jump in on any of those lives as well. And I'll be putting stuff up on the screen. Is
it Saturday or Sunday?
I think it might be Sunday, I'm pretty sure, US time, which is like, I think it starts my time, it's like 6 p.m. and then finals start at midnight, which is always fun. So I'll be up all through the night once again because of the time difference, which sucks. So your time, I'm guessing it will be, so midnight my time would be like, it's probably like about 3 p.m. your time, like West Coast time, Stan, maybe 4 p.m. Something like that.
That would be the middle of the night in Spain. You're 9 hours away in Spain from me.
Oh shit! Well, I might have the times completely wrong. Shit, I don't know, man.
But if they were going on stage at noon, it would be 3 a.m. here for the prejudging.
No. So it's 6 p.m. I think it's. I might be wrong, man. I'm going to post up. I'll post up all the times and stuff on. I'll put it on the Desktop Bodybuilding Instagram page so people can know what time the lives are, and I'll post, live stream. And like I said, you guys are welcome to join in at any time because they're normally quite popular, the live streams of the shows. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you everyone that's watching as well. That's it for myself, Xavier Wills. Keone, the Prodigy Pearson, go follow him. Stanimal, Stan Longeaux, only 2.5 weeks out. We'll have to hit up a one-on-one very, very soon, man. And Aaron Pilates, who's, he's getting lower again. So we better wrap it up. But that's it for us. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell button. For myself, Xavier Wills, and all the guys, Desktop Bodybuilding, we are out. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Bodybuilding University. If you did, there's a ton more episodes on desktop bodybuilding right now from the past. We've had guys like Nick Walker on. Obviously, weekly we have Brett Wilkin, Nathan Diasha, Martin Fitzwater, Stanimal, Stan Longeaux. Recently had Beef Stew, Stuart Sutherland on. And we have a whole ton more guests coming up for you guys as well. Sergio Oliva Jr., tons of names coming at you guys. Also, you get tons of bodybuilding news, all that good stuff. So make sure you like this video, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself here, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding, and you won't miss out on another episode of Bodybuilding University. So that's it for this one, guys. Xavier Wills and all the guys at Bodybuilding University. This is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.